Alrighty then, let's get this show on the road. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, it's that time again. Time for another brilliant lecture in native literature here at Sisseton, Wahpeton College in lovely, beautiful, bustling, crowded, hot downtown Agency Village, South Dakota. And now, without any further ado, the genius himself, Professor Victor Singingeagle! Yay! We really want and touch your heart a cold. Take time to stay your stand up in dust. And while the heat sits on your skin like heat, let's order you thorns that time and on and bust. Hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Hookah. All right, quit fooling around. That's an old Potawatomi, runaway Potawatomi love song that we don't need to talk about right now because this is our final meeting of Native literature. And I promised I was going to walk you through the final exam, right? Right. Why is the sky so dark or this class? Well, never mind. You don't need to look at me anyway. You need to look at the screen. You ready? Here we go. So, as you know, I have the final exam here. Just look for the Powerpuff Girls, Blossom, Buttercup, and Bubbles, I think their names are. It says hidden from students, but right after I'm done talking to you, I'm going to unhide it. Let's walk through it together, shall we? Boom, edit quiz and buffer. And we're going to go to the questions. Let's see now. We've got, these are 1 point each. What is that? 10? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 10 true or falses. Got it? Slow down. 10 multiple guess. Got it? Some matching. I believe there's 10 of those. And then our essay questions. We've got 3 10-pointers and 1 big 30-pointer. All right. Here we go. And remember, this thing is worth 1/4 of your grade, so don't mess around. You know what? I think I only got 2 students left. Started with 14. Stuck with only 2. Isn't that sad? I should take this hat off. This is my old Coast Guard insignia, signifying that I am indeed a veteran. But never mind. We're going to stay on our focus on our questions. We got a true-false question with Mama Day. True or false? Your professor argues that all textbooks, plural, give too much credit to the late Kiowa author N. Scott Momaday, who's probably the main inspiration for the Native American Renaissance. Let me read that again, because it's a trick question already. Your professor argues that our textbooks give too much credit to the late Kiowa author N. Scott Momaday, who's probably the main inspiration. Blah, blah, blah. True or false? Let's get rid of that. Boom. Next question. There. And remember, students oftentimes accuse me of handing things to them on a silver platter. I bet you if you click on In Scott Momaday, there's your silver platter right there. I'm going to right click on this to show you what I'm talking. See, look at that. It lights up. That's a hyperlink. Hyperlink. I can't talk today. So just about every question on this quiz has a hyperlink to give away the answer. True or false? Singingeagle argues that Tommy Orange's polyphonic novel, There, is actually very easy to follow with very simplistic plot. You can click on this, nope, right there. Click on that, it'll open up another window. Probably the best thing to do is to right click on it, which I'm not going to do because we don't have enough time. I got to go faster, you sure? Boom. True or false, a major plot of There by Cheyenne Arapaho author Tommy Orange is a group of gangsters led by Octavio Gomez, who 3D prints guns and plans to rob the big Oakland powwow. 1 point. So we're going to get out of that, go faster. Boom. And again, there's hyperlinks to each and every one of these true or false questions. Here is the story of the Pleiades. I can already tell just by the artwork. I'm going to come over here because that mouse isn't working very well. So it says true or false. Look at that. There's the answer to the true or false question. Your professor tells the story that the Pleiades are actually 7 little girls who broke taboo and got stuck dancing in the night sky forever. And if you don't know, you didn't pay attention to the lectures, boom, silver platter right there. All you got to do is click on it. True or false? Let's do the next one. Boom. Where are we? Creator question. Boom. Right. True or false? Just like mainstream literature, all native lore features an omnipotent creator making human beings all by himself without any problems. And you can click on it. There's a video that's embedded into the question. Next one. We got to go faster. Pretendians. Pretendians. Ha! I love that. It looks like a Barbie Ken, whatever. I don't know. True or false? Pretendians primarily cause symbolic harm, but they do not affect real world opportunities or resources for indigenous communities. 1 point. You see what that's? Pay attention to the language. I'm not going to get all stumbled in there with you. I got to go faster. Number 7, native disagreements. Right. True or false? Oh, there's that old wrestling style we used to do back on the Morongo Res. Never mind, focus. True or false, as Professor Singingeagle reportedly points out, native authors never have disagreements because they want to present a unified front against mainstream literary critics. I hope nobody gets that wrong. All right, focus. Next one. I'm going too slow. Number 8, Tiffany Midge. Yay, Tiffany! Go, Tiffany. Oh, she's so cute. All right. True or false? As Hunkpapa Lakota, author Tiffany Midge asserts natives are not tragic, extinct people. No one should get that one wrong either. Boom. Next question. Where are we? Gary Hobson and Joe Bruchak. Boom! There they are, my old professors. In their younger days, their great glory, true or false, Cherokee Chickasaw author and professor Gary Hobson, that's the first guy, and along with Abnaki author Joseph Bruchak and Acoma professor Lee Francis, the late Lee Francis, may he rest in peace, co-founded Returning the Gift Project. You can right-click on that and open it up if you don't know what that is, because I've talked about it only 2 or 3 times. Now known as the Native Writer Circle of the Americas. True or false? I'm going too slow. I got to go faster. Where are we? Last true or false question. Right. This is the Tewa critic, Tewa Hopi critic, Kim Sapovi, aka Native Lady Book Warrior, says that the book Marrow Thieves is about natives who lose the ability to dream. So they must hunt for white people and steal their bone marrow. I believe if you right-click on that, it might open up a video that explains. And I believe I also put some stuff up on e-learning. You should know that. All right, let's get out of that. We're going to go down to multiple choice, subversive humor. Yay! All right. Native American Museum, what kind of field trip is this? We have all this stuff at home. Ha! All right, there's the answer on a silver platter. According to Singingeagle, what does the concept of subversive humor mean? in the context of native literature. A. Native stories that function in accordance with mainstream literature. B. Native stories of resistance and resilience, often characterized by biting sarcasm and satire. C. A form of literature pioneered by Sherman Alexie. Or D. Traditional Aboriginal literature that has nothing to do with mainstream culture. By the way, just to remind you all that when the computer opens up and you take this final, sometimes these questions will be scrambled up. So while I'm reading A, B, C, D, when you see it, it might be B, C, D, A, or whatever. You know what I mean. Never mind. I got to go faster. Boom. Next one, themes. Which of the following is a theme in native literature? A, the impact of colonialism and imperialism. B, the struggle for cultural identity. C, the importance of storytelling. Or D, all of these. By the way, sometimes all of these might be up here, might be there, might be there. That's according to the computer. It's weird, scrambled. Discretion, as you know. There, setting Oakland. There's Oakland, California, way back in the old days, but let's say focused. Singingeagle spent a great deal of time summarizing the plot of There by Tommy Orange. What is the setting of this novel? We already know because we're just looking at the postcard. So we're going to scroll down. There we go. A, an unknown Californian Indian reservation called a rancheria. B, contemporary Oakland, California. C, the contemporary Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. Or D, a past native community on the northwest coast. Let's go faster. Motanita Indian. I know this is from our textbook. Oh man, that's scary. I'm not an Indian. In residential school, why did oral author Solomon Rat, that's in our book, Woodland Cree, dislike playing Indian? The Indian and Cowboys and Indian Games. I'm stumbling over my tongue. This is 2 points. We got A, all of these. B, because of what Heath Justice and Singingeagle call the era of shame. C, because the Indians were always the villains in the movies. Or D, because it is a colonial misnomer indiscriminately applied to all indigenous peoples of the Americas. So remember, we got 4 choices. The first choice says all of these. I'm talking too much. Let's go faster. Next one, tricksterism. That might be in our textbook of the Republic of Tricksterism. Oh, what a cute coyote. I like that. And the story, yes, I was right. Look at that. In the story, Republic of Tricksterism, RLT, page 172. By the way, in the previous question, I might edit it to put in RLT, what page the Solomon Rat story is on. I didn't bring it. Back to this question. In the story, Republic of Tricksterism, which you can click on. RLT, page 172. Who is Chief Toby? 2 points. A conceited, corrupt tribal politician who considers himself to be the Grand Chief of the Federated Saskatchewan Indian Nations. Or B, he is a trickster chief who loves to play jokes on non-native politicians. C, the novel never explains. Or D, he is a benevolent, self-sacrificing, and powerful leader of the Federation of Saskatchewan Indian Nations. Where are we? Ah, right, Laura Tohey. She was a joy to interview. Yes, it says right there, in her interview with Professor Singingeagle, Runaway Potawatomi, what did Navajo author Laura Tohey say about her experience in boarding school? A, 2 points. Indian children were completely ignored in favor of non-native children. Non-natives children? Whatever. B, she said that nuns and other teachers practiced forced assimilation, where children were terrorized into giving up traditional ways in favor of acting more like natives. C, none of these. Or D, the teachers appreciated the children's traditional stories and encouraged them to write them down as much as possible. Nobody's going to get that wrong, right? All right, next one. Where are we? Tricksterism. Oh, right, futurism. There is a link probably in this video or this question. Oh, how cute. Look at she's doing the Vulcan thing. All right, focus. What are the three F's? You can get your answer just by watching that video. Described by Singingeagle, Runaway Potawatomi, regarding the roots of mainstream futurism, Afrofuturism, and Indigeno-futurism. Fighting, that's A. Fighting, ferocity, and foolishness. B. Fabrication, facetiousness, I can't even say it, and friendship. C. Future, financial success, and fluid intelligence. Or D. Fear, fun, and freedom. Next one. Where are we? Right. Gertrude Simmons Bonin. Who was Gertrude Simmons Bonin? Look at these wonderful pictures. She looks like a girl I used to date down in. Never mind. Stop it. Bad teacher. A prominent German missionary who helped Christianize the Yankton Dakota people. B. A Catholic saint and virgin known as the Lily of the Mohawks. C. An Arab Laguna writer whose works combine influences of feminism and her native heritage. Or D. Also known as Zitkala Shah Redbird, she was an early advocate for the rights of Native American nations. Where are we? Number 19, returning a gift again. Back to returning the gift. Wow, I know that guy. I know a lot of these guys have already passed away, and there's some weird dude in black right up there in the corner with a big grin on his face. Never mind, focus. And there's Sherman Alexie. Where'd he go? I saw you, Sherman. There's Sherman Alexie. Skinny dude. Never mind. Let's go on to the question. And there's a video answering the question. According to Cherokee Quapaw Chickasaw author and Professor Gary Hobson, what happened in Oklahoma in 1992 for the very first time in history? Points. A. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the entire eastern half of Oklahoma is on tribal land and that the state could not bring criminal prosecutions on Indian land without the consent of Indian tribes. B. Native writers from all over the Americas gathered to share their stories and celebrate. C. American Indian writers came together to compete in the world's largest MMA battle. Or D. President Abraham Lincoln allowed the largest mass extinction or execution in the USA. Let's see, last one of this, number 20, says here, oh, goody gumdrops. Right, according to your professor and many Navajo traditionalists, when is the best time of year to tell traditional stories? You can just look at the pictures and get your answer. Never mind, focus. Or click on that. A, fall, B, winter, C, summer, spring, D, spring. Boom. Faster, that's too easy. Now, we got a matching section, just like in the midterm. You already know how that works. We've got this cute little the kids playing a matching game. You got to describe what is survivance, what is, and you choose by dropping down, and you've got your answer choices there. What is survivance? What is indigenous deficiency? What is pedagogical resistance? What's a pretendian? What is literary criticism? What is indigeno-futurism? What is comparative misfortune? What is artistic urgency? What is art for art's sake? Look at that. What is indigenous didactic, excuse me, narrative distancing? Probably get an answer by clicking on that, all right? So we're going to get out of that. Well, I think there's like 10 of them. I forgot how many, yes. 10 of them, each one is worth 1 point. Now we're going to get to the hard part. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Funny, you don't look like one. This is Drew Hayden Taylor. I believe he's Canadian or Canadian American or American Canadian, whatever. You all may remember Kermit is quite famous for his rendition of Not Easy Being Green. I can relate. If I could sing, my song would be, It's not easy having blue eyes in a brown-eyed village. Yes, I'm afraid it's true. The author happens to be a card-carrying Indian. Once you get past the aforementioned eyes, the fair skin, the light brown hair, noticeable lack of cheekbones, there lies the heart and spirit of an Ojibwe storyteller, honest Injun, or, as the more politically correct term may be, honest Aboriginal. You see, I'm the product of a white father I never knew and an Ojibwe woman who evidently couldn't run fast enough. As a kid, I knew I looked a bit different. But then again, all kids are paranoid when it comes to their peers. I had a fairly happy childhood, frolicking through the bulrushes, but there were certain things that even then made me notice my unusual appearance. Whenever we played cowboys and Indians, guess who had to be the bad guy? The cowboy. Now, please do not give a lazy answer to this question. It is worth 10 points. What is the question? Comment on this quote by Drew Hayden Taylor, Ojibwe. And here is my little rubric. You got to type in your answer right there. To get a 7, all you got to do is just regurgitate the crap that teacher tells you, demonstrate you read it, blah, 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 detailed in your response. That's to get a 7. To get an 8, give me some of your opinion. Do what you did in 7, but add your opinion. To get a 9 or a 10, do the same thing as this one, that one, but back your arguments with assertions of other scholars and even some quotes, if you know what I mean. I'm going way too slow with this. How long have I been talking? 22 freaking minutes. Go faster. I'll probably edit this. Aw, how cute. I'm not going to tell you who these people are or who that guy is, or girl, I should say. In his video, Shasta Land, which you can right-click on, Singingeagle, Runaway Potawatomi, issued a challenge question. What does all this talk about the land have to do with native literature? What is the relationship between land and literature? Make specific references to certain passages in our reading or other native literature that you may or may not be familiar with. Well, apparently, maybe. Please do not give a lazy answer, 10 points. Same thing. This is a relative freebie question, but still, make your voice heard. Summarize your point. Explain what it means to you. To get an 8, detailed. Summarize your point. Explain what it means to you. Give me some examples. Number 9, to get a 9 or a 10, explain your points, lots of detail, include examples, explain its impact on you and your community, and refer to works of other authors. Got it? All right, here we go. How am I doing on time? Almost 30 minutes. No, 24 minutes and 48 seconds. Next one. This one was a freebie because you know that I already posted it on e-learning. This fella, whose name I always call him Peter Blue Cloud, but his real name is Ray Youngbear. I always mix those two guys up. They're friends of mine on Facebook. We were just chatting the other day. Anyway, let's go back to his question. Read Ray Youngbear is the one I live with. Right-click here. Then write an essay responding to the following. Now, before I even post this or open this up for everybody, gotta make sure that link still works. Let me go over here, and I'm gonna hover over. The mouse is terrible. Right-click on it and open it in a new tab. And do we have it? Yay! It works! Okay, go back to the quiz. I say that all the time. What elements of the poem feel explicitly tribal, cultural, or ceremonial? Which elements seem more universal or personal? 2. Youngbear asks whether or not the poem feels planned, in air quotes there, or just a muddy but poetic puddle. Using examples from the poem, discuss whether or not you see deliberate structure, pattern, or design. And, of course, Youngbear also asks Is an Indian writer who writes and speaks only English a cultural misrepresentation? Now, respond to this multi-part question using the poem that we just poked at as evidence. Consider how language choice, translation, and cultural expression operate in the poem. Students can choose any direction, but all roads must lead to deep analysis. And there's your rubric again, how to get a C. Regurgitate the crap you've been learning in class, throw in some Daniel Heath Justice, and boom, you got your C. Get a B. Yes, show you know the material, you read it, apply it to the question, and give me some sound critical thinking skills. Be honest, detailed, well-reasoned opinion on the poem and Mr. Young Bear's questions. And to get an A, a 9, or a 10, know the material and the course, the stuff you've been reading from Daniel Heath Justice. Apply it, your knowledge to this question or series of questions. Express your detailed, well-reasoned opinion on Mr. Young Bear's poem and back your arguments with outside sources. You could probably just use some references to a quote here and there from Daniel Heath Justice himself, and you'd get an A. But I'm already talking too much. Let's go back to the quiz, or the exam, I should say, because this is our final. We did this. Shasta Land, funny you don't look like, and here comes the big question. You ready? Just like the midterm. You get choices. 1, 2, 3 choices. Essay question. This is a longer one, so do not be lazy. I can't stress that enough. 30 points. Choose one of the following essay prompts and write a well-developed essay. About 2 paragraphs. Warning, do not give me a lazy one-sentence response to this question. You'd be surprised at how often students give me a lazy one-response answer. But then again, I got 2 students left in this class. Hopefully I have more. But according to my roster, only 2 people have been logging in lately out of 14. All right, question, first one. In your opinion, what would be the great Native American First Nations novel of the 21st century? What would it look like? Describe its setting, plot, theme, and characterization. That's easy. That's a freebie. Other choice. Analyze the use of humor in Native literature. Feel free to refer to authors such as Thomas King, Cherokee, Tiffany Midge, Hong Papa, Drew Hayden Taylor, Ojibwe. How does Native literature serve as a tool for instruction, social commentary, and cultural critique? Last question. In your opinion, what are some things that make Native literature different? I like that question. What makes our writing different from so-called mainstream? Provide some specific examples to back up your claims. And here's your rubric to get a 21, 23. That's a C. You must just repeat all the junk your professor taught you, be detailed in your response, and demonstrate you have an understanding of the concept. To get a 24, 26, that's a B. You must demonstrate an understanding of what you learned. Be as detailed as possible in your response. Demonstrate you have an understanding and provide your own opinions and arguments. And 2730, which is an A. You must demonstrate your understanding of what you learned about this topic. Be detailed as possible in your response. Demonstrate that you have an understanding of the concepts. Provide your own opinions and arguments, and of course, back your arguments with the assertions of other scholars. Name those scholars and quote them. Teachers love that, by the way, not just in my class, but in all the classes. Now, today is Sunday, May 3rd, 2026, and I'm going to open this up right now. And I might fix a few things to it, but the main gist of the quiz is there for you to jump on. So I'm going to knock it off there. We've already gone for 30 minutes and 35 seconds. Thank you again for your kind attention to this wonderful class of native literature. And I hope you have good luck on this exam and all your exams. Talk to you later. Hey, 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 Lee. Hey, 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 Lee. Aya, hey, ya, ya, ta, ki, ta, ha, na, ya, ha, ha, ya, ha.